and I really can't stress that enough. You guys are freaking awesome. Definitely today we have two really good matches. One of the best matches today is going to be the first one coming up, and that's Wasted Potential versus Super Squirtle Squad. And I'm gonna go ahead and let Chopper himself go ahead and talk about it, and we're just gonna just roll right through this and get it going, get it started.
Super happy to be here, Rhino, and welcome to everybody. Week one of the Pokemon Unite Coronation League, the week number one, baby. Let's get it. The Wasted Potential and Super Squirtle squads. First teams that are going to be competing here, and then afterwards we'll have another banger. And then tomorrow we have a couple of matches as well. Do keep in mind this is about a 10-week league, correct, Rhino?
Correct. Yep. 10 weeks of great action and great gameplay. And I am just super excited and I just can't wait. So we're going to go ahead and go over just to let you guys know who is playing on what team. And we actually had a roster change already for the Super Squirtle squads themselves. The all-rounder Bogito will not be playing today. They will be replaced by, let me just double check here. I believe LeChonk. He's actually going to be replaced by one of the Pokemons that I'm just never a fond of in the very new game. So yeah, go ahead and take it away and go ahead and talk about Super Squirtle Squad.
The captain is going to be Saucy, Support, Draggy. Now, obviously, we saw this change for Bogito, Too Fun to Kill, and Rainax just to round up the Super Squirtle squad. Last time that we were here on the analyst desk, we were speaking about the fact that they really want to make a statement when they start off the league, considering they actually separated from one of the other teams that's probably one of the contenders to win it all this season. So they really want to make a statement and show them that themselves that they have had their own growth apart from that other team. So hopefully they can make that statement in expense of the next team that's going to come up, which Rhino it is.
It is absolutely. It's one of the best teams that I can only be friends of, and it's Wasted Potential. Wasted Potential here. You have the captain Bloomer himself, attacker Jess, the all-rounder Palmer. No changes here as far as any point of this, and I wouldn't change anybody on their team. They're all fantastic, very, very strong players. And you got the all-rounder Palmer, the defender Green ET, and with the support Bridget. Like I said, I've played against these people, and they are definitely a force to reckon with. And with this first game today, I can only imagine what this game's gonna bring. We got bans, definitely bans. The Pokemon that you cannot play in this for right now is Scyther Scizor. I know Scyther has a bug right now, but Scizor does not. I'm just gonna go ahead and ban both of them just so we don't have any conflicts. That is my decision. I am the league commissioner of the league, and then I'm also not allowing them to play Dragapult until next week. So we are not gonna have Dragapult. We're not gonna have Scizor or Scyther, and this is going to be an interesting picks and bans phase. Very, very interesting.
It's already going to make some changes to the meta of the league. Scyther being one of the strongest Pokemon in game right now, and Dragapult probably potential to be one of the best hyper carries in the game as well. We don't know what type of strategies they have done with Dragapult. That's why we're actually waiting the 2 week mark just so everybody can get used to how the Pokemon plays. And continuing on against Scyther, unfortunate that the bug, well, not unfortunate for the Scyther mains, but the bug actually can let you use the Unite move twice if it's a possibility, which obviously is not an intended mechanic by the developers, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and just scratch that out of the way, just make sure that we have and no controversy for our first week of play.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only thing I could say is for those Scyther mains, you are very lucky that they're still even allowing it in ranked play. In other MOBAs, they don't even allow stuff like that to even still be played while they just have those massive bugs. So you're one lucky duck. You're one lucky duck. And in those Unite ranked games, I just yeah, you're one of those people we just kind of gotta stick aside and never ever want to see you in ranked again. So but other than that, yeah, I'm kind of excited here. We're gonna go ahead and get into picks and bans. and I believe these teams are going to be ahead and ready to go. So the one thing that we have is that Super Squirtle Squad opted to go ahead and do the first pick and ban. So they're going to go ahead and go off with their ban. So I'm just super excited to go with that. We're just waiting for them to go ahead and choose, and yeah, we can predict what you want. So you go ahead and start it off.
So back when we were actually talking on Tuesday, we spoken about the fact that there are a couple of Pokemon that definitely have priority when it comes to team compositions. And we both agreed that both Sableye and Bleacy should be priority picks number one and number two for bannings, just because of the fact that Sableye can be very unstable when playing against them. It is a wild card that you don't really want to have on the map. And obviously, Bleacy being the best healer in the game, as you ban it, it could also give an opportunity for compositions like Bleacy Tyranitar or anything else that has a lot of sustain to actually not be as viable as before. And just like that, we're seeing Super Squirtle Squad actually banning Sableye first.
Right
Just like
away.
that, just as we predicted, yeah.
And as you already predicted again, you got Blissey, and then you got Dodrill, the three-headed monster bird that can easily just gank any lane, go into a lane just five, and just be a nuisance in team fights as well. Can easily off score, so that's a really good ban as far as like just being able to do that strong for the other team. But with the Blissey ban, you've said it, and you've even said it in the last ones. It just Blissey's just too good. Blissey's way too good of a supporter to be using overall, and her ultimate. It's literally just her ultimate that just keeps everybody away.
Yeah, like you mentioned as well, Dodrio can, I think, is actually one of the best, if not the best speedster in the game right now. The burst that you have, especially when you're trying to go onto the flank and get that back line going through the defenders just because of his unite move, but also because of the speed that it goes to. It's actually a very important tool when it comes to late team fights in Rayquaza, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are just waiting for the fourth ban from the Super Squirtle Squad. And I can only imagine what they're kind of going through right now. Are they going to go ahead and get and just ban attackers? Are they going to go into and ban some defenders that are just really strong right now as well? Like you talked about the other day, you said Mamoswine is just, a nuisance of going in. So it's definitely very interesting of what we can see and what we can do. Yeah, there's definitely four bands, so there's two bands on both sides, and then we go into picks. So we're just waiting on them to go ahead and do the band. Just follow the green boxes as far as you guys as players, and we're just gonna go ahead and follow right through it.
Yeah, this is going to be super interesting right at the beginning as well, Rhino, because after you have those three first bands, it's really going to depend on the style that the teams want to play. Do you want to eliminate tanks to make sure that the other team is actually weak versus any type of sustain that you might have? So you're going to pair, for example, a Snorlax with a Eldegoss just to take care of the healing. We know that Mr. Mime is still in play. We know that Mew is still in play. These are characters that in solo queue, and we've seen it in competition, have dominated the meta for the past season and this season again. So it's still going to be pretty interesting what pick they're going to go for.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to double check with the teams right now. We're trying to get this going, and it seems like they're having some issues, and it looks like it's just on our end. So yeah, we're just waiting for them, and there it is. Buzzwole banned with the Machamp pick. That is just wow. That's going into I have no words. I kind of said Buzzwole was an issue, but I didn't think it was going to be banned right away. Can we hear you? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, yeah.
So it might for now it might be like a target ban for Buzzwole. Maybe there's somebody in wasted potential that actually has a lot of merit to using them.
Yeah.
It is definitely an interesting pick, and Machamp being the first pick for Super Squirtle Squad is also kind of interesting because you have so many Pokemon still at your disposal that are available that are actually quite meta relevant right now. Not so much as Machamp is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, banning the Buzzwole provides enough to where there isn't a whole lot of CC, because like Buzzwole themselves have just a lot of CC, and if you guys don't in the chat that don't know what CC is, crowd control can just literally just can stun you, can easily just displace you. It can also put you, blinded for a little bit as well, put you out of place, and it just that Pokemon, it's a really good solo play, but I don't know how much of a team play the ban for Buzzwole is. Like you said, it could be a target. Maybe they did their homework on the waste potential, and that's
Mhm.
strong themselves. So we're just waiting on the first pick from waste potential themselves, and hopefully we can go ahead and get it going as well. But
Yeah,
that Machamp pick,
well, it is the first game of the first week of the league.
yes,
Some of the people actually just prefer to play comfort just to see how their opponent is going to play.
right.
And my champ is super interesting though, because again, there's so many all rounders that are available, like such as Garchomp, Tyranitar, off the top of my head, Lucario as well.
Yeah,
My champ is going to be super interesting. Team fights, specifically, my champ can be pretty strong, especially when using close combat, and obviously the Unite move that can just take you from left to right on on the other side of the screen.
yeah. I mean, he's really good if you, in a team fight and around a Rayquaza, you know, overall the way Rayquaza is built, you can easily get past, uh, Rayquaza and come from the backhand and get the overall done and over with as far as what it's going on. So it's kind of weird on that pick because it's you have to be in their backline in order for the champ to really start working.
Okay, so we do have Machamp. What other Pokemon's Rhino do you feel can actually pair greatly with this fighting Pokemon?
With this fighting Pokemon, I really would love to see a setup, and a setup being you're gonna want Snorlax, you're gonna want another Pokemon, Mamoswine themselves, just to kind of be able to push them into that close combat to kind of pair that up and get that overall togetherness. And we're just gonna go ahead and refresh the page here because we're for some reason they're behind, and it's behind on the screen. And there we go. There's the next couple picks. It's kind of weird on how it's not refreshing, and that's just on my end. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that we go ahead and make this a little bit more refreshing
Worries,
later.
Rhino.
Yeah.
No
So
worries. Yeah, no worries. So Super Squirtle spot actually goes for Greninja and Snorlax. So we are seeing what you mentioned to try to get that set up. Whereas Wasted Potential is actually taking every single Pokemon that is currently relevant in the meta and just putting them there just to stuff it out. So Mamoswine, Mr. Mime, and Gardevoir, some of the best characters that we have in Pokemon Unite right now as we go into the final ban.
yeah, going into the final ban is right, but these three picks that waste potential are strong picks for themselves. I'm pretty sure we're definitely going to see, and I can't believe it, we're going to see possibly Gardevoir in the jungle. And you have said it that Gardevoir has been really good. Yes, early game is going to want to get ganked, so that I'm wanting to see how waste potential gets these next two picks and possibly tries to ban something that might be able to push this Gardevoir ahead early game than trying to push it behind in early game, because trying to make a Gardevoir catch up isn't the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, Gardevoir Jungle is definitely going to be the pick. It's going to be up to Super Squirtle Squad to actually get those jungles invades in, just to make sure that routes feels as weak as possible right at the early stages of the game, as we're seeing Wasted Potential actually banning their second healer, which would be Eldegoss. So most of the sustain that we're going to see from Super Squirtle Squad, he's going to be mitigated because of the fact that we don't have any more healers in play. The only characters that could actually give you some sort of healing would be Greedent, for example, with the berries. Greninja can give you some recovery depending on if you're gonna run Shell Bell. But the main tool and the main moves that they use as Greninja is going to be usually Surf and Smokescreen. As we ban the Azumarill, just to avoid those 4v1 scenarios where you're going to have the team actually getting an objective while the Azumarill actually goes to the other Reggie on the other side. And a great 1v1 player. So I don't know if you noticed, Rhino, but most of the bans that we're seeing from the side of Squirtle Squad in particular are basically aimed at the 1v1, whereas Wasted Potential are definitely looking to hinder the healing of their opponents.
Yeah, and hindering is exactly right. It seems like they're definitely going more team based and team based in their comp wise. So they're not trying to get that 1v1 on the off lanes and hoping that one of their players might lose that 1v1 to it. And that's a very very interesting strategy as far as banning phase and banning wise goes. And I'm just excited to see. Literally, I really want to see this Snorlax set up whatever two Pokemon they're about to pick for Super Squirtle Squad. Yes, it could set up for Machamp, but what can it really do? They're missing a bottom laner, which is definitely just, it could be a Ninetales, it could be a Pikachu. Like we could see a lot of different Pokemon down at the bottom that could really make this Snorlax shine. I just don't think right now with the Greninja going in. Greninja's ult is very solo based as well. Yeah, it can get easily into the team fight and easily steal away, objectives. But I don't see it really affecting the team comp overall of what they're already going with.
Yeah, you put in a Nolan Ninetales on wasted potential right now just to make sure that the other players don't pick it, and then you have the best lane in the game, which is Mamoswine, Alolan Ninetales. You're gonna have such a strong early game just to wait how Gardevoir is gonna play. So what wasted potential is actually doing now that I'm thinking about it is actually quite insane because at the early games, you're gonna have strong laners from Mamoswine if you're gonna pick an attacker with them, where they're going to actually dominate the beginning of the match, actually making the jungle from Super Squirtle Squad very difficult to be any type of ganking at the beginning of the game. As soon as we get that refresh done, I would love to see what the other picks are.
Yeah, they just haven't chosen their fourth and fifth pick, and I'm really hoping that they start going here pretty soon because we're kind of, we're getting into the stage where we might have to start pushing them to get these picks going in. But it looks like there's the next pick should be coming up here on the screen in a second. I looked at what I need to start doing. I need to start just
Right?
refreshing the page, so we got it. Aegis Slash. Aegis Slash is a very interesting because how Super Squirtle Squad didn't want that 1v1. Aegis Slash is really, really good in a 1v1 against Machamp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You think they're gonna pair it with the Mr. Mime though?
I don't see Mr. Mime being up top. I really feel like Mr. Mime should be bottom. I think that they can easily put just I love a Mamo Aegis Slash in the same lane. Like that
Okay.
right there to me is just I think it's dominant. I think it's something that a team just can't easily shy away from because Mamo can easily stop them in their tracks while as I say it, Aegis Slash just goes zing, 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 zing all the way across the board. You know what I mean? It's like he could just sword slash away everybody that Mamoswine just sets him up with.
Okay. This actually sounds super interesting too. And we have actually from the other side Alolan Ninetales and Serena to round up the composition that we have. So actually stealing away the Alolan Ninetales just in case they were going to pair with the Mamoswine. And then Serena, who recently actually considered one of the best Pokemon in the game. They have received a couple of nerfs from time to time, and now it's not as strong as it used to be, but it's still pretty much seen throughout competition.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. And the way the compositions are looking right now, I'm kind of favorited towards right now Wasted Potential. They have a lot of good setup and setup for this Gardevoir, to be honest. The Gardevoir can easily chunk their damage and get them to where Aegis Slash can easily just ult on top of them and just get that execute. And that execute's gonna be strong from both sides. So it's kind of it's I really with that Gardevoir ult too, being able to possibly shut down the Serena right in the middle of their their trop kick or something that they could be going into glassy glide. They don't have a whole lot of CC immunity, so I'm very 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 weird on the double all rounder comp that Super Squirtle Squad has opted to go through.
Yeah, I agree with you. Wasted Potential is definitely the composition that I would like to have on my side. Aegis Slash is actually going to be a great factor, and they actually round up their composition with a Blastoise. So this might change how we are going to see the lanes actually paired up. What do you think that they're actually going to run? Mamoswine would still go to the top lane. Do you see Blastoise actually going top, and then Mamoswine actually being with the Aegislash on the bottom lane?
I feel like Mamoswine and Aegislash up top is still perfectly fine. There's a lot of farm down bottom that Blastoise can easily benefit from, and I really like Blastoise as a basically a number one attacker against the Ninetales, because if Blastoise opts to go towards a rapid spin, that Ninetales, the block off of the Snorlax, the CC from the Machamp, the CC from Serena. Like, this is a really good pick, a strong, against strong CC comps like this, and because it has that CC immunity from its rapid spin, and it's just gonna go Beyblade go. Like that's all I can say about that. The
Yeah,
lobbies are
you're,
getting set up right now, so we're just gonna go ahead and talk about the comps.
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about winning conditions for each team. What do you think Super Squirtle Squad actually has to do? Um, from the composition, we can actually assume that Greninja is going to be the jungler, just
Yeah,
because Greninja goes into the hyper carry position and it needs like those early levels to be as quick as possible. Um, whereas Gardevoir is actually going to do the same thing from the other side. We assume.
we
So
assume
what?
is right. The only thing I can see from Super Squirtle Squad is sending that Snorlax into their jungle early, and to get that early jungle gank against this Gardevoir to kind of slow them down and possibly slow down other powerful mons as far as the Mamo as well. If Mamo is trying to defend against the Snorlax, um, I I would love to see Super Squirtle Squad do that, and doing it in a very very timely manner. Getting that going is going to be very strong for themselves, and possibly could really 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 do well.
Okay. And the pick order as well is kind of interesting too, Rhino. Because again, since we saw Super Squirtle Squad actually picking Machamp first, you would think that maybe having priority over Pokemon that could be more contested would be the name of the game. As we're getting into all of the positions that they're going to be placing right now, and checking out the items as well. What do you think of them?
The items selections alone, obviously, we expected Rapid Fire Scarf to be probably one of the top tier items to pick for these Pokemon. And right now, I mean, we see 5 Rapid Fire Scarfs. That's crazy. So it's kind of crazy. Palmer on the Stoice though. Palmer is on the Stoice, and that's kind of, that means Palmer is jungling with Blastoise.
Ooh, this is getting cheeky.
It's getting very cheeky. This is getting
Okay,
very
okay.
cheeky.
Okay, so this is interesting. So, Blastoise Jungle is something that, well, I've seen a couple of times, and it was a lot more relevant as soon as Water Spout actually became a thing. It was pretty strong right at the beginning of the match, as we're getting into it right now. So, actually trying to test out and see. So, and actually, the Aegislash, according to what we're seeing for wasted potential, would be the jungle. But we're not seeing the routes actually moving, so there might be some sort of restart at
Yeah,
the beginning of the game.
there's definitely a restart, and a restart is going to be needed. They're going to go ahead and possibly have to go ahead and close out this game. Let me double check here and end this.
If you're admin, you can close it right away. There we go.
Yep. We're going to go ahead and close
Alright.
that and get that going.
Okay, so psychological warfare is going to be done by Super Squirtle Squad just because they moved into their lanes first. So that's good mind games right at the beginning of the match right now.
Very, very good mind games, and like I said, the Snorlax didn't go into jungle right away, so that's kind of interesting to see, and interesting to do. Why is it? I think it is. Hold on, it's not letting me. 1 second. We're gonna go ahead and go into technical difficulties. There it goes. Now it goes. All right, cool. This is very new to me, far as like trying to do the game. So sorry about that, there, chat. We're gonna go ahead and get this going.
Yeah, no worries, chat. And we have 58 viewers right now, Rhino. A lot of people actually getting excited for this. It's gonna be awesome, honestly. Thank you all for being here.
Absolutely, and this is what something that Unite has been missing out, and something that Unite has been needed. I really feel like we can easily start something here and possibly get even more teams into the following season. I am willing to do a lot more seasons than just this season, so definitely stay tuned to that. But yeah, we're I can't stress it enough that this has been something that I've been in the works for about at least 9 months now. So I'm kind of very like happy that this thing is has been put out, and the amount of we've gotten help has been amazing for myself as well.
Great to hear. It's great to hear. For those of you tuning in, make sure to actually go ahead and follow us both on Twitch, Rhino Gaming and Chopper_PR, and obviously the UWC League as well. You can go ahead and follow us right here. 10 weeks of nonstop action in Pokemon Unite for the chance and an opportunity to actually crown the #1 champion. We're going to have teams from North America, teams from Puerto Rico, and eventually we hopefully expand into next seasons and this becomes a regular thing for all of us right now.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to do alliterate to everybody that's out there watching. If you are interested into being a caster, into basically getting your feet wet being casting on as far as games and experienced games like this, I'm taking experienced casters and I'm also taking beginning casters. I am not the greatest caster in the world, nor do I really I would rather be more of a production team in the back. So if anybody is interested, please DM me. I would not be hesitant of messaging you back and talking with you. So the game is getting set up right now. We're just waiting on one of the teams, and then that's just yeah, that's pretty much what we're waiting on.
The competitions are definitely just going to stay the same because the draft has already been done. So you
Correct.
don't have to worry about that.
And for those of
Priority
you,
bans.
yep, for
Go
those
ahead.
of you that are definitely just joining in, these are the picks and bans, and you can go right ahead and talk about them as I get this set up.
Okay. So once again, we are seeing Sableye being the first ban in the Blissey. We hit those right on the money, so I'm kind of proud of us, Rhino, when we were actually talking about that from the beginning. Jotrio as a pick, again, one of those burst option speedsters that is going to be pretty irrelevant so far. And then the Curious Boswell pick ban and first pick Machamp. Actually, very interesting picks overall, actually going into the Mamoswine afterwards. So, compositional wise, you would think that Wasted Potential actually has a better opportunity to get the W just because of the strength of the Pokemon alone. But Supersquirtlesquad does have something to say about that. Greninja can change the complexity of a game, and Serena can take over too. I'm very curious about the power of said Pokemon, Rhino. Burst is definitely an option for Supersquirtlesquad, but it's going to be so difficult for them to actually intercept any type of Pokemon if you have Gardevoir and Mamoswine just throwing Icicle Charge and whatever other areas of effect or AoEs Gardevoir has at their disposal.
Yeah, absolutely agree. The way that Gardevoir could just set up a lot of teams and a lot of things that are going on right now, the team comp for Waste Potential, like I said, it's looking very strong, and it's looking to a point where it can easily dominate this game and dominate this game very well. And
Where? Uh-huh.
we're gonna go ahead and get into the game here. We are getting started, and started we are.
Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and get those picks in one more time. So Greeny T, Real Jess, Palmer, Bridget, and Bloomer. We're just gonna be random picks so far. We once again they cannot change the picks, otherwise that would be they're gonna have to take it up to the commissioner. So
yes,
Greninja has been running Rapid Fire Scarf as of late, actually trading it from attack weights. As the jungle is actually can get a little difficult to actually get those stacks in consistently. We are seeing Machamp actually running Rapid Fire Scarf too, so that's an interesting pick because I did see a video of Chris Heroes Rhino where he said the Rapid Fire Scarf might not be something that you would run optimally on Machamp. So hopefully Lechonk could actually prove us a little, well, skeptics a little bit better. So What do you think of the build for Too Fun to Kill's Serena?
Serena is such a interesting Pokemon in Unite. It rose up very late in the competitive scene back in season 1 of the World Championships, and I can only just imagine what kind of builds what Serena could possibly build into, deal with the amount of sustain this Pokemon has. It's very interesting to see how we go about this, and I'm very excited to see, honestly.
Absolutely, Rhino. And without further ado, the first game of our league is going to be underway. UWC League Wasted Potential versus Super Squirtle Squad, game number 1. So, lanes from Wasted Potential are going to be Mamoswine and Squirtle on top, with Mr. Mime on bottom with the Gardevoir, and Aegislash will be rounding up the jungle. As we're seeing right at the beginning of the games, the stacks are going to be placed in. Pretty interesting to actually have routes in lane, Rhino.
Yeah, absolutely. And popping those EXP speeds right away, it's kind of interesting on why they just opted to do that. And Palmer goes ahead and steals that right away, but he's getting chunked down by Lechonk. Nope, they're not going to get that pick off. He's going to go ahead and just wait to possibly get this last steal, and he does. And he gets the level 5 ahead of the Machamp, which is massive for this team.
Yeah, farm denial is going to be so important as we're heading into the last moments to actually get those Altarias and Swablues. And they're right in position right now. Blue team actually gets vast majority of them right on top of the lane, and we're seeing another War Turtle actually taking out the Machop and invading the lane, whereas counterplay on the bottom side trying to get something going, but Super Squirtle Squad actually fading a little bit. As I say that, Alolan Nines was actually getting a legitimate kill over the Swinub.
Yeah, absolutely. And that gank down bottom just did not work out for that team. And here it is for another attack here. Rout's just by himself, just farming, which is massive for that team. Yeah, they get those little plays off, and I don't think it's going to help them in the long run. Snorlax goes down, and then we're going to possibly get a double kill here. Misses the Psyshock, gets a huge... Nope, didn't get the kill off there, and they're just going to go ahead and back. Didn't even get some scores off of that as well. Oh, there's one score from the Mime. There's a stack. Gets a kill on the Sereno. That's massive for Gardevoir there.
Yeah, Bridget and Real Jess are actually doing a really good job, but the Serena was actually doing as we're seeing a double kill done by the Piloswine. Rhino, you can't tell me the character doesn't need a nerf. I mean, the attack is ridiculous. Rapid fire scarf on it, as we're seeing 29 points actually getting scored to get that first base, as we're seeing 25 seconds for Reggie, Lecky and the other Reggie on the bottom side.
Yep, while we have these objectives coming up, where do we see these teams getting set up here? And it looks like Wasted Potential is kind of everywhere here. Where they're going to put their priority at, and looks like they're going to put it up top. Doesn't really look like they're going to have this bottom objective here with it coming up within the next 2 seconds.
Such a good lane as well.
5 members by the Squirtle Squad is down bottom, while Green
team... Yeah, they figured they're actually not going to be able to contest it, and they do get the Regirock, so it's going to be defense and special defense, whereas on the top side, the trade of objectives is going to be right on their way. We're seeing the red team actually doing some stuff. Super Squirtle Squad actually getting in some more pressure. Aegislash actually falls from the Machamp, as we're seeing Serena just spinning around and making sure that the Curlia always feels uncomfortable as the first base might go down, but now we're seeing the Blastoise actually playing into effect, and just so we see the Curlia responding back with the Serena.
The Blastoise hitting 9 right before even 7 hit. That's so massive for Palmer there, as the Pokemon's strong already, and being 9 early game like that for a Blastoise, it could be massive for him as well. Getting possibly 13, 14 by the time the end game ends. Blastoise gonna be a reckon with close to the end game.
Yeah, again, Rapid Spin along with Water Spout is a composition, at least a setup that we've seen from Blastoise beforehand. A lot of people have been starting to prefer Surf and Hydro Pump, however, as it controls better space for the team. But as we're seeing, the carries actually trying to struggle within the bases. It's gonna be important for them to actually try to get those objectives as cleanly as possible. We're seeing 3 right down bots as Aegis Slash actually rotates downwards. Serena actually trying to get the Mr. Mime as soon as possible with the Super Spreads. Gonna be
Huge
in.
ult by Serena. Huge ult by
Very
Serena.
good.
Caught 2 of them. Got Greninja and the Serena in it, and just like that, Waste Potential just 100% just slaughtered bottom, and now they're just gonna go ahead and get this for free with a fat 31 overdunk.
Yeah, and this is going to be so important for all the teams here. Make sure that you actually get those points as much as possible. There's always good communication, Rhino. It's one of those things that you really got to learn for. In solo queue, you're always going to have somebody that's going to try to overdunk, and then somebody actually just destroys it with 10 points, and then you don't get any type of bonuses left. Nevertheless, we're seeing right on top. Okay,
nevertheless, you're right with Snorlax just doing that block, and he didn't really do much up there while Wasted Potential went in and took a free ejective down bottom, and I believe got the Reggie steal.
Actually, I believe it's Regice.
Reggie. I mean, either way, I would like to have all of them. Give me all of them.
For sure.
Huge Machamp ult, but whiffed a lot, just did not do much as he just didn't even, it looked like it didn't even do anything with the massive heal from the Mime. It's just massive.
That's just gonna be how the composition is gonna play out for them, Rhino. The crowd control in this team is ridiculous. We've seen the Unite move actually coming away from the Gardevoir, but not quite hitting with anything.
Blastoise ult. Got 5 people with the Blastoise ult.
So clean right there, actually moving in right now. Water Spot, Rapid Spin just to get this. Damn, this Blastoise is carrying this game.
As the Blastoise carries, with Bloomer coming around and just going, like I said, you set up kills for Bloomer. He's just gonna go zing, 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 zing right across you and gets the massive triple kill. Here it is with the Blastoise soloing the Greninja, took the blue buff and is just getting out of there. Wow.
Such a good job. Palmer really knows his stuff on the big tanky turtle.
Yes,
just maximizing that damage, but most of the carries that we're seeing from Super Squirtle Squad, not all of the carries, don't really have enough damage to actually deal with the defender.
No, and to deal damage to a defender, especially with Rapid Fire Scarf, with Palmer having that and being 13 now, he's just even going to get more. And as the Super Squirtle Squad just opted to just go top and just try to take another goal zone out of them as they're just trying to put pressure. And here we go, just Waste Potential getting another free objective, and they're just gonna go ahead and take Regirock. As ooh, this is very interesting because we have Super Squirtle Squad just set up for the top objective here.
Like it's just about to come out. The rotation for Wasted Potential is actually going to be upwards. This team fight could actually decide the game right now.
Decide the game is right with 2:17 left. Dude, does Super Squirtle Squad opt to go ahead and take this fight early? And it looks like they're just going to back off. They just wanted the bait. Serena's going to go ahead and just kind of off farm here. They're very low in levels. The level difference between both teams is just massive here. And as we possibly could get the start off fight, Blastoise goes in with the huge rapid spin. That block does nothing for it with Gardevoir coming in. No, massive ult by. Gets another 3-man ult for Palmer. We got one down. Machamp's down as well. So is Mr. Mime. Gets the Serena. And there it is, the rapid spin. Beyblade it goes. Beyblade it goes. Can they CC this Greninja? No, they do get it. Okay, awesome. Palmer with the objective steal and gets the Reggie, or the Rayquaza. My bad, I'm sorry. And you go ahead.
No, it's all right, no worries. So what was interesting of that bait, Rhino, is the fact that they actually used it to make sure that they avoided any type of Regieleki team fight. So as soon as they started poking Super Squirtle Squad, they actually started baiting out, as we're trying to see them to score, but not to no avail so far. And a good secure by Bloomer, as they are saying right in this chat. 56 people right now. He's just trying to get into those team fights as cleanly as possible. And good defense overall by Super Squirtlesquad as we're actually looking to push in at the final minute of the game.
Good defense is right, and they possibly have enough points here to actually steal the win. So if they can get a good offensive take here, they could possibly end up taking this game.
As we go in one more time. Yep.
Yep, they're definitely going in, and with the Mamoswine Mamoswine just went ahead and just defended that all by himself and gets the rapid fire scoff proc to go off as well. Mamoswine finally goes down by the Greninja. It's just a bloodbath here as it's a 5-man wipe for Waste Potential onto the Super Squirtlesquad, and I gotta say, I kind of saw it from the beginning that, man, Waste Potential just had the right, and I mean the right, comp for what they wanted to do today.
Yeah, they won the game from the draft, I think, from the get-go. Again, Mamoswine can be such a good Pokemon if you know how to use it correctly, as is every single Pokemon. But when you pair it with the Gardevoir, you pair it with the Blastoise. I think Blastoise was actually the revelation of the game. It could actually earn a ban instead of actually getting the Buzzwole on round 2. So it's gonna be this is the fun part right now. So seeing how they are going to adapt for game 2 and moving into the next game is gonna be great so far. So first game, Wasted Potential. I saw them actually winning them pretty comfortably. It got a little shaky when it came to the Rayquaza situation, but they still had the handle on it. Nothing that they couldn't really control. The Snorlax was pretty much a non-factor overall. You can't really push the Blastoise with Rapid Spin. It's going to be invulnerable, so that's part of the reason why we have that counterplay. So